I can show that you got my attention. See your baby, I keep you finished. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
This former Science with a Sports Minute. The last of the boys of summer, unfortunately, is gone. Dodgers player Carl Erskine, known in Brooklyn as Voice 97, the All-Star who hurled 2 no-hitters, helped win 5 pennants and 95 awards. Champion of human rights and racial equality, Erskine also fundraised tirelessly for special needs children, residents with disabilities. Former Science.
This report is brought to you by Jericho Nursery, your gardening angels.
Right now at Jericho Nursery, you will find hundreds of the most beautiful roses to choose from, plus expert advice.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Visit us on Alameda and 2nd Street or online at jerichonursery.com. Hoorah!
International Protective Services, proud supporter of ProView Sports and Mexico Youth Athletics.
Even if they're not that proud of it.
IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often alcohol is involved.
There'll be time for the winners. We're going to talk about you, LeBron James, the Los Angeles Lakers, the Sacramento Kings. What a performance. But the focus is on end of an era. And now is a legit time to have that conversation. We flirted with it in the past. No, come on. This team, championship pedigree. There's too much. The coaches, the players, an all-time great. They can't count them out. But it's time for big time changes. Go to the Golden State Warriors after what happened to them last night. What it do? And a happy Wednesday morning, everyone. Welcome into the opening drive. JJ Buck, fresh off 4 years, playing linebacker at the University of New Mexico. It is Cy Riley with us this morning. Mr. Jerry Wright, behind the glass. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good to have you. Appreciate it.
I'm happy to be here.
Rolling through all the producers this week with Symbieta out of town.
Producer du jour.
Filling all.
Du jour.
There
you go.
Jay Wright, behind the glass. Golden State Warriors, they're going home. Sacramento Kings 118, Golden State 94. And there's so much from this game to break down. First and foremost, what a performance by the Sacramento Kings. You looked at the Kings coming in, you're like, man, this is going to be a shootout. Defensively, it's going to be tough. Well, how about Keon Ellis stepping up for 15 points? Keegan Murray, 32 points to lead the way, and the Kings blast the Warriors 118 to 94. So let's go to the Golden State Warriors. And you know it's time for changes when you forget Chris Paul's on that team. Like you're watching, like, that's where Chris Paul's been this year. No impact off the bench for CP3. The fact that Andrew Wiggins, there's been a lot more going on with this man this season than just his performance on the floor. He's been up and down. He's been away from the team. 12 points in 25 minutes on 4-11 shooting. And then the biggest one, 32 minutes, 0 points, 0 of 10 from the field, 0 of 6 from 3 for Klay Thompson. 0 points.
Can't happen.
From the other Splash brother.
It can't happen.
And so you're looking at Steph Curry. The dude can get it done. He doesn't look like he's 36 years old. He had 22 points, 8 of 16 shooting, only 3 of 7 3-point. The Kings did a phenomenal job running him off the three-point line, trapping him, not giving good looks. And they're saying the right things after the fact. Draymond Green is saying, hey, let's run it back. Steve Kerr, after the game, said, quote, we need Klay back. He's still got good years left. And I know I speak for everybody in the organization. We want him back. Well, Klay Thompson's a free agent this year. It's time for a change. And I'm looking at you, Steph Curry, and you are one of the greats of this generation. You are going to go down and be talked about as the best shooter to ever play the game of basketball. It's okay to want change, and it might be okay. Look to play basketball somewhere else. You have served your time in Golden State. You have changed the game. You have set records. You have won NBA championships. But Steph Curry cannot have his basketball fate tied to Draymond Green and Klay Thompson anymore.
I think it's going to be a little bit of a change coming up soon for the Golden State Warriors. They have a team option on both Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody that I expect them to pick up. Obviously, Klay Thompson is a free agent. Chris Paul is owed $30.8 million next season. I don't see the Golden State Warriors going into the luxury tax in order to pay Chris Paul $30.8 million next season. So there's going to be a big difference. I would kind of want to see Steph Curry stay in Golden State if they're going to move off of a Klay Thompson, which is sad given, their storied history together, 4 championships. Steph Curry Finals MVP, Iguodala Finals MVP. It's been Kevin Durant his time there. It's been a great run for the Golden State Warriors, and it's sad to see them fall off the edge so quickly.
Well, the end comes for everyone. And you look at Golden State, and they had the improbable finals victory in 21-20. And that was after Klay Thompson got hurt. They went 15-50 that one year. Klay Thompson was hurt. Steph Curry was in and out. And then they come back after 2 years of not going to the postseason and winning an NBA championship. Yeah. And that highlighted how special Steph Curry is. Klay Thompson having an unbelievable year, coming back from multiple major injuries, because he had the Achilles and everything else. But now it's time, because Draymond Green has been a key to winning those championships. His energy, his defense, we all understand it. But if you're Steph Curry, you take a step back, go, okay, was Draymond a piece of like Kevin Durant? Didn't want to stick around another year or two and watch the Warriors dominate the NBA. And we've seen him get suspended and miss time, and Draymond Green getting that lengthy suspension this season put them in a position where they ended up being in the play-in tournament and being the 10th seed in the Western Conference as opposed to competing for a top 6 seed. So that those guys have each other's back. But it's time to have serious questions of, do you re-sign Klay Thompson? Do you keep around Draymond Green? So Draymond, you mentioned CP3's contract. So Draymond, Steph, and CP3 are locked in under contract next season. So there's 2 ways to go. If you're Steph Curry and the Warriors do explore trading Steph Curry this offseason and restarting, seeing what you have with those young guys and moving forward. Or do you make the tough decision and let Klay Thompson walk, get out of CP3's contract, and try to retool around Steph and Draymond?
I think that's got to be the best case scenario for them, is let Klay Thompson walk, no money owed to him, get out of CP3's contract, probably waive him and maybe re-sign him or restructure his deal. He's not a $30.8 million type of guy at this point in his career. Steph Curry still warrants his money, and you can't move off of Steph Curry. He's too impactful, not only
got it, man.
to the Warriors, but also to the Bay Area. He brings in so much money and things that don't even relate to basketball. So I find it very, very hard. I don't know if that's an option that they have, quite frankly, because then you go from making the play-in without Steph Curry. I don't see them even being.
Yeah, they wouldn't be a playoff team,
No.
but it's that pivotal point. I wouldn't move off Steph Curry. I don't think Steph Curry is going to ask out, but there has to be changes.
Absolutely.
And that's where you have to remove yourself from the situation, because Steph Curry's not going to say, hey, let Klay Thompson walk. They've had Draymond's back this entire time. So what changes could work? And it's getting out of CP3's contract, because it never felt like that was going to be an impactful presence, even with CP3 coming off the bench the entire season. Chris Paul missed some time. You saw it last night. He was a non-factor in that game. And it comes to a point where you have to make the tough decisions. That's what we talk about. I think for Golden State, I don't think Klay Thompson still has a role in the NBA. I don't think he's a starter on a championship team anymore.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
But I think if you're a contender bringing Klay Thompson off the bench, you're going to feel pretty good. And the Warriors dabbled with that, but it's also one of those things that, you know, when you have that history and you've been that guy, how do you make a transition with that team?
Yeah.
Like, how does Klay Thompson kind of take a step back when he's been the other face of the Warriors championships?
Well, I think he did a great job this year. Obviously his play did not warrant him being a starter mid-season. And so, you know, Steve Kerr looked at the body of work that he had up until that point and decided to put him on the bench. And I think that was the best thing for him. It lit a fire under him. He came back, averaged more points, more assists, more rebounds on fewer shots. His field goal percentage went up. And so I think that's kind of why we saw towards the end of the season, they relied on that experience of a Klay Thompson. They relied on his, you know, improved body of work up to that point, which is why they started him the last couple of games of the season. And, you know, he's been on a tear, but last night was just a very, very, very poor performance by him.
0 points for Klay Thompson, 0 of 10 from the field. And you have to ask serious questions. You've kind of been here in the past with the Warriors, and the question has been floated. Is this the end of an era? Is the time up? Yeah, it is, because these guys are older. The performance isn't the same from Klay Thompson. Draymond Green, you know, how much longer are you going to look back at the championships you won as opposed to making one more push with Steph Curry? Because you watch Steph Curry and you still feel like, yeah, that guy's got it. And he's going to be turned 37 next March.
Yeah.
But I still trust him. And he's not going to ask out of town. I think the last thing the Warriors are going to do is want to see Steph Curry leave town. But it's the hard questions you have to ask is, when do you make that transition? What changes do you make? What do you see moving forward for the Golden State Warriors? Because I think this is the true transition of the Splash Brothers era of Steve Kerr and company trying to figure out how can they get out of the play-in and be a playoff team and try to make another push with Steph Curry as their superstar. 505-246-0610. That's the Sports Animal hotline and text line this morning. We're going to talk about the Kings and how they did so well last night. The Lakers over the Pelicans. Zion Williamson is in a place you don't want to be. And that is, he could be the captain of the all-what-if team. The Lakers get it done. They advance to play the Nuggets. We're going to break down that coming up on the other side. And oh man, what if? What if with Zion Williamson? Cy Riley, JJ Buck. It is the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
When you have sports mixed with your...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
What's going on? Who are you guys?
Well, sir, I'm going to pick you up at the DWI checkpoint for drunk driving.
And that's when I have to come down to get you out of jail.
Well, temporarily. I'm Judge Torres. They call him the Hammer. Hey, hot off the presses, champ.
I'm real proud of you, honey.
Way to make them happy back home, Captain.
Who's that?
That's your new buddy in jail.
I'm going out, Grandma.
When are you coming home?
I'll be home late. Don't wait up, okay?
Be careful, mijito.
Love you, Grandma.
Mijito. He's a good man. Sometimes he just makes bad decisions. I tell him, mijito, cuidado. Be careful. You might hurt someone. He doesn't listen.
I tell you to stop, okay?
Hello. It's me.
Hi, mijo. Where are you?
Dale was drinking and driving. I need you to come and get me, okay? Please, Grandma? Can you just come and get me? Grandma?
Leave him in jail.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
That contact will drive in some more runs. Make it 2-0. 3-0, good base riding.
And popped up to the right side. Casaus looking underneath it. No, it's not Casaus. Figueroa Brito makes the play at the end.
That's upstairs, that's the ball. And on the wild pitch. And Cibola caught Rio Rancho sleeping.
One still. And ripped to.
What if? Not where you want to be when you have the potential to be a star in the game, but we are left saying, what if? The Lakers move on. They defeat the Pelicans last night, 110-106. What a game it was in the second half because of Zion Williamson. Zion goes off, dropping 40 points. However, after he tied the game at 95 on a layup with 3:19 left in the fourth quarter, the next stoppage, he goes to the locker room. Zion doesn't finish the game. The Pelicans come up short. They have one more chance because the Pelicans will play the Kings. Winner of that game will be the number 8 seed and face the number 1 seed Oklahoma City Thunder. But LeBron James did what you expect from him. Triple-double trouble out there. Lakers shot well from three-point range, 14 of 35. They were clutch down the stretch, hit their last 11 free throws. But New Orleans showed you the pop. They showed you what their ceiling could be. However, here we are again with Zion Williamson. It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. JJ Buck Cy Riley with you. Symbieta back on Monday after his bowl meetings this week. Zion Williamson, we were sitting here yesterday saying, all right, this is your moment. Go show the world you can be that dude. And he did. And he went out there and scored 40 points. He brought the Pelicans back. The Lakers were rolling early in that game. 1 point, LA outscored New Orleans 34-16. They're up by as much as 14 points in the first half. And then here comes the Pelicans led by Zion Williamson. But at what point? And I think that point is now. With Zion Williamson, you just go, man, what could be? What could be? Because he goes out with leg soreness. Now, looking at the news, scrolling the X, no updates this morning. Their head coach, Willie Green, said after the game that they're going to have some imaging done on Zion today. They hope to figure out more soon. But the status update now on Zion Williamson is iffy.
Yeah, and it's going to be a hard thing for the New Orleans Pelicans. Luckily, they play Friday and not Thursday, so they have an extra day of rest for Zion. But they're 7-5 without him this year. C.J. McCollum didn't have particularly a great night either. Brandon Ingram still nursing his injury, coming back to play. So it's going to be tough for the New Orleans Pelicans to figure out how to move forward. They're playing against the Sacramento Kings in New Orleans. The Kings don't have a Malik Monk, so I think it's going to be a little bit of an even game. They're 5-0 against the Kings this season, which is outstanding if I'm a New Orleans Pelicans fan. So it's going to be an interesting game. New Orleans will have to figure out some things. If Zion's not able to go, then I expect them to ramp up Brandon Ingram just a little bit more. Expect C.J. McCollum to shoot a little bit more. Hopefully he has a better game because he just can't. You can't win. 9. You can't win.
3 for CJ.
You can't win without Zion and shoot like C.J. McCollum did last night.
So Zion took over, and you saw, Zion Williamson when he came out of Duke, and you're watching this guy look like a linebacker, but play like a point forward. This is what he can do. He can dominate inside. It's hard to stop that man when he's going downhill. He doesn't shoot threes. It's not what you see anymore in basketball. Zion scored 40 points, and he did not make a three-point shot.
Yeah.
He was 17-27 from the field. He gets to the rim. He works inside. 6 of 9 at the free throw line. 40 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, just 3 turnovers. But, yeah, he's not there in the final 3 minutes. Leg soreness. So you have to feel good that if it was a major knee injury or something along those lines, that would have been floated out there. But that's the most frustrating thing is you can't count on Zion.
Yeah.
Like, he has it. But you see him again not able to be there when his team needs him the most.
Yeah. And it's a sad thing because for so much of the game he was dominating. The Lakers went up double digits. And who's the one to bring the Pelicans back? Zion. His pressure that he puts on the rim. Anthony Davis had 3 blocks last night, but I can only say one of them was against Zion. Zion was just aggressive, ultra aggressive on offense. His defense came. He blocked LeBron James on a couple, shots, a couple layups. LeBron James missed a couple layups because of Zion's presence around the rim. So it's a hard piece to grasp not having Zion out there. And everybody was wondering what happened because, again, Zion's aggressive. He's scoring. He makes a tough floater, and then timeout, and he walks back, and we come out of the break, and it's like, where's Zion? So it's a horrible thing for him. His career hasn't necessarily panned out as it should as the number 1 overall pick. But if he's able to go on Friday, 110%, that's what the Pelicans are going to need.
Yeah, if Zion, if this was, say, just a cramp, okay, I think the Pelicans can win that game at home over the Kings because this game, even the way Sacramento played yesterday, Sacramento was buzzing. Like, they did not let the Warriors get back in the game. You're watching that, and you're just waiting. You're like, oh, Steph Curry's going to go off. He's going to come back. Nope. And so without Zion Williamson, I'm picking the Kings. Easy for me.
They're faster. Yeah. Their pace is incredible.
But what I think could make it a really interesting game is the Sacramento Kings right now are running a college rotation. And what I mean by that is they're playing no one off the bench.
Yep.
They look at those starters, there's Sabonis, Barnes, Murray, Fox, Ellis. All of them played 34 or more minutes. And so that's just where the Sacramento is right now, with losing Kevin Huter, and Malik Monk, their depth players off the bench. And so you look at Brandon Ingram back after missing 2 weeks. Right, they're going to try to ramp him up more. Better game from CJ McCollum. But this all hinges on Zion.
Yeah.
And what you're going to get out of Zion. And if they avoided major injury, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
But it's always going to be in your back of your mind, like, what is it with Zion? Because he got in shape. And this is not a dude you're looking at and go, oh, he's too big. He's carrying too much weight. No,
he had 40 points.
Yeah, he's yoked right now. He scored 40 points. But leg soreness, you're just like, man, it's just that what if.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see that happen for Zion, because when he is rolling, he's different.
Yeah.
There's no one like him right now in the NBA. But that's what I'm saying. He's on the bench of the all what if team right now.
Yeah. He played the most games of his career this season, which was, something that everybody wanted him to do this year. And so it's going to be, it's a very hard thing to grasp, because we've seen the worst of Zion, and now we're possibly seeing the best of him, but he's not there when his team needs him the most. And it's kind of getting a little redundant.
And sometimes the best ability is availability.
Yep.
And he's got to be there. So the Pelicans and Kings will play for the number 8 seed. That game is Friday night, because the Los Angeles Lakers, they're going to play the Denver Nuggets. And Darvin Ham did not want to hear one word about trying to duck the Denver Nuggets. You're getting LeBron James, the Lakers, against the defending champs, a team that swept the Lakers last year in the Western Conference Finals on their way to the NBA Finals. I do think that this series is going to be different than last year's series. We'll talk about the Lakers, Nuggets. We'll also preview tonight's playing games in the Eastern Conference as well. But coming up next, Cowboys are trying to calm everyone down. They went from all in to taking a step back. What does it mean in Dallas with the NFL draft right around the corner? Next Thursday, April 25th, first round of the NFL draft. The teams are going to be trying to add, build, move around. What is going on in Dallas? That's coming up next here on The Sports Animal.
This message brought to you by Sandia Golf Club.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mir here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Light skin shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
And we got some day ball from El Paso for you. I hope game 2 of 6 against the Chihuahuas. They fell last night 12-4. Not great. Not great start to the season for Albuquerque. They're 2-11, but guess what? Second half team. We're looking at the second half because in minor league baseball, they split the season in half. So you have your first half champion, and then you get to restart. So who doesn't want to hit the restart button? We're looking at a second half team for the Topes. We're going to talk some baseball with Shushan coming up at 9:40. It's opening drive. JJ Buck, Cy Riley with you. Jerry right behind the glass here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. Symbieta back on Monday. Very busy, man. But what a week it is. And the countdown is on. At this point in time, I think most draft boards are set. We can have the conversation, and we will for another week. Who should go number 1? The best offensive players in the draft. What should the strategy be? Who should trade up? Who should trade down? And then you have the Dallas Cowboys sitting there. Voluntary workouts across the NFL started this week, and when players don't show up, it's headlines, but it is voluntary workouts. CeeDee Lamb, the wide receiver, Micah Parsons, the edge rusher, didn't show up to voluntary workouts for the Cowboys. We know those guys are going to get contracts. We know what the Cowboys are going to look like this season. Dak Prescott is your quarterback. You got to find a way to pay those other guys, and then you move forward. But when you have an owner say, we're all in, what does that mean? Well, you just assume when Jerry Jones said the Dallas Cowboys are all in, that they're going to spend a ton of money and just go after everyone in free agency, bring in veterans, and well, that's not the case. And Stephen Jones, of course, the executive vice president for the Cowboys, he tries to walk it back a little bit. Yesterday on 105.3 The Fan, he said, quote, "We spend max money year in and year out. All 32 can only spend the same amount of money over a 5-year stretch. But when you're wanting to sign players like Dak and Micah and CD, then you certainly have to hold money back if you want to have a realistic chance of signing those guys." And I think the Cowboys are an easy team to read right now. Is they didn't want to extend Dak Prescott because they're not sure if they trust him or not. Yeah. Like, Dak Prescott is a good NFL quarterback. But when you're not winning playoff games, you're not even getting to the NFC Championship game. It's not just that you play for the Cowboys and your owners, Jerry Jones. Any franchise is going to take a step back and go, well, we're winning 12 games. We feel like we have a good roster. What's holding us back from postseason performance? And I think really what you're looking at now is Dallas and Dak. It's a one-year deal. Yeah. Go out there and prove it. You win playoff games, we'll happily extend you because you know you can win games and you can have success in the postseason. That's what it is for Dallas. Yeah. Dak's on a one-year deal. You know the future is going to be CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons. And Mike McCarthy has to figure it out when they get to the playoffs.
Yeah. I don't expect him to move off of Dak Prescott, you know, even if he doesn't win playoff games, but I don't expect him to pay him either. And I don't think Cowboy Nation should expect him to.
Let's say that Dallas kind of does what they do. You know, they win 10 to 12 games. They go to the playoffs, maybe win a wild card matchup, lose in the next round.
Yeah.
Is Dak Prescott the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys after this season?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and I'm looking at the 2025 quarterback draft prospects. You have Carson Beck out of Georgia, Shedeur Sanders out of Colorado, Cameron Ward for the University of Miami. He's a transfer from Washington State. And then Jalen Monroe, DJ Uiagalelei, who we've seen from Clemson to Oregon State. Now he's at Florida State. I'm looking at these guys and nothing pops out and says they're going to be the bridge and the future for the Dallas Cowboys. Especially given I don't see the Cowboys, like you just said, they're going to win 10 to 12 games. They're going to have a later first-round draft pick. So they're not going to, unless they trade up and move up to the top 5 to grab somebody on a limb shot. I don't see these quarterbacks, you know, being the starting QB for the Dallas Cowboys week 1, 2 years from now. So it's a tough space to be in if I'm Dak Prescott and Jerry Jones. You know, they're going to keep trying things as they've been all his time in Dallas, but yeah, it's not looking good.
And this is one where you look at it and quarterback conversations I do think are fascinating. I think we get overwhelmed at times with everyone having to be elite. And I think that can cloud the judgment on a lot of these quarterbacks, whether we're talking about the future of like Tua and the Dolphins. I think, can Tua ever beat a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes, let alone Josh Allen and now Joe Burrow if he's healthy along those lines. Now, especially with Aaron Rodgers come back even for 1 year, what does that do to say of the Dolphins? And then so you're having those questions too with Dak Prescott. You're comparing him to the rest. You're saying, all right, how do we stack up against the 49ers and the Lions and the Eagles moving forward? And it really, to me, feels like the way Dallas went into this offseason and didn't extend Dak Prescott, which could have given them a lot of cap relief right now to give him a longer-term deal, that it is kind of one and done.
Yeah.
And if the Cowboys are one and done in the postseason again, they're just going to rip that Band-Aid off. And you're right. And when you're in this position of having a good quarterback play, but maybe you're not 100% sold. Like Minnesota, it was a little easier for them to move off Kirk Cousins because he blew out his Achilles.
Yeah.
And so the Vikings are going, well, been there, done that. We don't want to give this dude $100 million guaranteed coming off his Achilles. We'll let Atlanta do that. But I think the Vikings are a really interesting case study for the Dallas Cowboys because they're a team that has Dak Prescott and Kirk Cousins who are like the same quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
They'll win you games. They'll put up numbers. But they haven't had the playoff success. Now, is that on the teams? Is that specifically on the quarterback? It's on everyone, but mainly it's going to fall on the quarterback's shoulders. We understand that when we're talking about football. But I think that's an interesting kind of case study for the Cowboys to look at going. The Vikings are a team that has good offensive pieces. They don't need a whole lot to fill holes, kind of similar to the Dallas Cowboys. Now, with Kirk Cousins getting hurt when he did get hurt, that allowed Minnesota to have the 11th pick.
Yeah.
And then they go out there and get 23. So that's a little bit different ammunition that they have to go up. So they have 2 first-round picks to try to make a move for a quarterback. But I think that's a team to watch if you're Dallas. All right, what would that transition be like? If you move on from a veteran winning quarterback into the unknown.
Yeah. And you got to be okay with losing if that's the case. You can't expect, success. They brought in, Josh Dobbs last year, expecting him to, because he had a couple of great games to start the season for the Arizona Cardinals, and they thought that success was going to continue in Minnesota. He won his first game, and then everything started to unravel. And so you got to be okay with losing. It's very, very, very hard for Dallas and this fan base to be okay with losing.
Yeah, no one's going to be okay with losing. You know the name that you did say that fascinates me?
Who?
Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's with as much talk as you get from Dion and talking about, my guys are only going to go to certain teams, this or that. That could feel like one that Jerry would fall in love with. And say what you want about Jerry Jones, Cowboy fans, because I know you all do. They've stayed away. He stayed away from overdrafting a quarterback. With the Johnny Manziel hype, you go back then, you didn't take him in the first round. This could be the one that you think Dion would want to see Shedeur as quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, this is not one of those cases where a father's just hyping up his son, just like a LeVar Ball situation. This is not that. Shedeur can play. He's a great quarterback. He has the ability to escape the pocket, make throws on the run, draw out the play. He's a great quarterback prospect. And, if you turn on and watch the Colorado tape, most of those games, the team is winning off of his back, off of his arm, what he's doing on first and second down, extending the plays, moving in and out of the pocket. Like, his tape is really good. His tape is really good.
Would he be going into next year in college? Is he the QB1? For the draft?
He's my QB1 for the draft next year. Obviously, you could throw in a Carson Beck in at Georgia, what he was able to do this past season.
And someone's going to jump up.
Yeah, somebody.
That's what happens.
Somebody always, as we get closer to football and we're playing these games, you always get this sense that the further away you are from the football season, the more people change. Like going in, if you're sitting here, we're having this discussion in November, December, wide receiver number 1 is Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah.
Coming this draft right now, everybody's like, I'm not sure. He's kind of looking like a number 2.
You can over-talk it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So right now, if we were going into next year and I'm looking at, the quarterback draft prospects coming out, obviously there's always going to be that one guy that just comes out of left field.
Like J.J. McCarthy this year.
Yeah.
We knew, all right, J.J. McCarthy, Michigan, a lot of expectations. I don't think we were going to be talking about J.J. McCarthy
in the first round.
The third quarterback potentially selected.
I mean, in the national championship game, they were talking about he'd be lucky to go fourth.
Yeah.
And so now, again, the further we get out of football, the more people talk about things and people change their minds. If I'm a GM or owner or even a scout, I'm looking at Shedeur Sanders going into this next season, and number 1, can he help Colorado win some football games? Because obviously their season didn't pan out. They won the first 3, but kind of fell off from there. Can they win some football games? Can he continue to replicate the things that he did last season? And if he does that, then he should be the first quarterback off the board.
505-246-0610 Sports Animal Hotline and text line. Yeah, we're already peeking ahead to next year's draft with this year's NFL draft. First round is next Thursday. And when we come back on the other side, there's a former Lobo basketball player that's on the NFL draft radar. About that, it's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by True Green. True Green.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh? I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom. Sweet? Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Jacory Krosky-Mirror here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
Dabble in it. So you go back to what Antonio Gates was a hooper, and one of the best tight ends in the game. Tony Gonzalez. A lot of tight ends played hoop. Julius Peppers is one that comes to mind too. Yep. In North Carolina. Played football and basketball. Well, there's a former Lobo hooper that popped up on NFL draft boards and actually got a top 30 visit this week. It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. JJ Buck. I say former Lobo. This is one that's probably still weird to hear. We got Cy Riley, who I'm talking like yesterday, finished playing 4 years of football at the University of New Mexico. He's been fantastic this week. You can't tell that this dude just walked off the football field. He's been all in with us here on the opening drive. And do you remember the name, Lobo fans? Byron Matos. He was one of those guys that there was a whole lot of what if. Like, Matos was one of those freshmen that when he walked down the ramp at the pit, like, do we need to check this guy's birth certificate? Like, he was one of those dudes that was built different. And he kind of had that football player vibe. Matos, when you look at him, 6'7", now he's 313 pounds. Jeez. But he was built. Yeah. And he came in, the Lobos, 2019-2020, redshirted, played 20 games the following season with 15 starts. He averaged 6 points, 4 rebounds. Never really became a thing, but of course that was at the end of the Paul Weir era, and a lot of movement going on after that. Well, he transferred to South Florida, hooped a little bit, but then walked on with the football team. Well, Byron Matos, who's from the Dominican Republic, he participated in the NFL's International Player Pathway Program. And that's something that the NFL has opened up, as they continue their global outreach program. And we've seen some rugby players get signed. I think the Kansas City Chiefs just signed a rugby star this offseason. Well, this is a little bit different because Matos went to college. He played college athletics, so he is a draft-eligible player. A lot of the players in the International Pathway Program might already be professionals doing something, so they become free agents for a team to sign. Well, Matos is available for a team to draft, and Tom Pelissari of NFL Network reported that on Tuesday, the Cincinnati Bengals brought in Matos for one of their top 30 visits. So each team can bring in a player 30 times. You get 30 visits where you actually bring the player into your facility, go one-on-one with him. And Matos got that visit from the Cincinnati Bengals. So he's 6'7", 313 pounds. He's viewed as an offensive line project. That's fascinating to me. To see, the Bengals kind of view this guy. Oh, okay, we want to bring him in for one of our top 30 visits. How about that? Byron Matos, I want to talk about a what-if team. Lobo fans saw him on the basketball floor. Man, this dude looks like he has it. Transitioning to football. Could actually get drafted.
Yeah, Zach Taylor's always doing something in Cincinnati. Like, it's quite honestly amazing to see somebody. You go by and say you're a two-sport athlete. This dude's actually playing two sports. And the professional level, having a chance. I just think of like Jimmy Graham or Rico Gathers, like these guys that were two-way sport athletes. And it's a little bit different, from being an offensive, player. It's going to be impressive if he's
a lot of these guys we see him, more skill position players, but we're talking
offensive line. Like that's what's so intriguing and like blowing my mind because, as a hooper, you instinctively have good hands, You have hand-eye coordination. This dude's getting in a stance, and he's about to go block Myles Garrett or somebody. Like, this is honestly so impressive, and I'm happy for Byron Matos. Like, this is, and especially for somebody who grew up in the Dominican Republic, like, is already at a disadvantage in some eyes, in the sports realm, unless you're playing baseball. Yeah, I'm super impressed with him. Super impressed. And hopefully the Cincinnati Bengals, draft him and cultivate him, and he becomes the All-Pro and Pro Bowler. Like, that would just be a terrific story.
Interesting. So Matos, he was playing high school basketball in Tennessee, found his way to the University of New Mexico for 2 seasons, went to South Florida, and is now hoping to get drafted as the NFL draft starts next Thursday, the first round. It's fascinating about the different ways to get there, because that's different when you're in the trenches, and you as a linebacker know what it's like being on that line, front seven, going toe to toe with those guys, and especially an offensive lineman. Like, you sometimes you look at those guys and you go, something's a bit off, but it has to be.
Yeah. I mean, the one name that's coming to mind is Alejandro Villanueva. He's the guy that didn't play that much in college. He was in the Army and decided to come and try his hand at offensive tackle. 2 Pro Bowls. 2 Pro Bowls.
We'll keep an eye on Byron Matos. And I go from Hooper to NFL draft pick. It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. Taking your calls, 505-246-0610, hotline and text line. You want to send your emails, probably send them to Jeff, but he's not reading them. He's not here, so you can hit me up, jj@sportsanimalabq.com. It is the OD here on the FM and AM on a beautiful Wednesday morning.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today. If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh? I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom. Sweet? Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
It's the OD in the AM with three-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta, and JJ Bach.
Miss me with the talk of ducking an opponent. Darvin Ham is not here for your hot takes. Darvin Ham does not want your debate. We throw things out there. Sometimes there's levels I can't even get to. I guess I'm not good enough to have a take like that. Of a team should lose a game to then get to a win or go home game, which is a coin flip. You never know what's going to happen. Does one of your best players go 0 for 10 from the field and not hit a shot, and you get eliminated, Klay Thompson, the Golden State Warriors, to avoid playing a good basketball team in the playoffs? Well, that was some of the buzz it picked up. You heard it right here. Colin Cowherd was talking about it. Mike Greenberg was talking about it. And the Lakers said, we want none of that. Darvin Ham, after the Lakers beat the Pelicans last night, 110-106, was asked about, hey, what do you think? Did you think about manipulating things the way you didn't have to play the Denver Nuggets in the first round? And he said, quote, there's a report of what? Insane, asylum sources say. And I agree with Darvin Ham. You look at the Western Conference, and yeah, on paper you could say, well, you want to play OKC because they haven't been there yet. But OKC was also a team that won 57 games and finished in first place of a Western Conference. That you're telling me it's the best it's been in decades, maybe?
Ever.
And yet we're going to say, oh yeah, for sure you want to play that team. For sure that's a win. The Lakers, it's LeBron James, it's Anthony Davis. Well, you saw, the Lakers' peaks are still pretty good. They were running away from the Pelicans last night. But the captain of the all-what-if team right now, Zion Williamson, he brought him back 40 points, but not available for the final 3 minutes, and that was the difference. So the Lakers are the 7th seed, and they will be playing the Denver Nuggets. It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. JJ Buck, Cy, Riley, Jerry Wright with you. All the California connection.
Yeah.
Jerry was telling me this morning, he's like, yeah, I grew up watching the Lakers. And he's like, I grew up watching Jerry West.
Jerry West. Wilt Chamberlain.
That's an OG Lakers fan right there.
Hey.
Size like Kobe.
Fabulous form.
Yeah, that youngin'.
Fabulous form.
Oh, yeah.
So we gotta understand. We got a little rivalry. I'm a Denver Nuggets fan.
Oh, well. My condolences for you.
Those defending champs. Let's go.
That was last year.
Yep. Yeah, and it was last year.
How's it working out for him this year?
57 wins, number 2 seed. Western Conference.
Okay.
Pretty good. Yeah. Pretty good.
Okay.
Right now.
Pretty good. So I do want to look ahead to that series a little bit because for the Nuggets, things are a little bit different. They're going to need youth to step up. And a big piece to their puzzle last year, Bruce Brown, when he went off and got paid.
Yep.
And so the core four is still there. You've got Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, Aaron Gordon, and Tavis Caldwell. And then it's, is it going to be Christian Brown? Is it going to be Peyton Watson? They're going to need one of these young guys
Michael
to
Porter
have
Jr.
a big game. Michael Porter Jr. Yes. I forget about him too much because I have high expectations for MPJ.
Yeah.
And if he can find a level of consistency,
yeah,
he's their X factor.
Yeah.
Because they paid him to be the third star.
I mean,
and if they are going to go on another playoff run, MPJ is not just going to be the third star. He's going to have to be their second best player.
Yeah. Because there's only so much Nikola can do by himself. And he's going to draw the double teams. And when the ball gets moving around, the ball gets swinging, it's going to be one of those wing shots, those corner threes, either a KCP or Michael Porter Jr. that's going to have to knock it down consistently, time and time after again. Especially with the Lakers, you have good size and good length.
Man, and the way D'Angelo Russell's been playing.
He's been lights out.
So Russell's that guy for the Lakers.
Yes.
When he is scoring, that's giving them that different edge. Because all right, AD, LeBron, you're getting the consistency offensively, defensively, and Russell's been that next piece.
Yeah.
Because Austin Reeves and Hachimura, these guys, I like the rotation they built.
Yeah.
Taurean Prince. I think the Lakers have done a really good job
of
building that roster. So you go ahead and, those are the two guys you're looking at. D'Angelo Russell, Michael Porter Jr. Scoring X factors.
Yeah, because when you get LeBron James, in the high post and, then he turns around, he gets in his triple threat, and then they double him, they blitz him. He's got to get rid of the ball. Most of the time it's Austin Reeves, and then Austin Reeves is driving, and then that draws the center up. So now it's either you got Anthony Davis for the lob, or you got D'Lo for the corner three. And, you saw it last night. D'Lo hit the corner three, turned around, looked at the New Orleans Pelicans bench, and was like, I'm here. I'm here in the corner. I'm here. And that was the big shot last night that he made. But even the rest of his play, just made it so much easier. Took the load off of Anthony Davis scoring-wise, LeBron James scoring-wise. LeBron missed a couple of layups last night, but you couldn't really tell unless you were watching the game because, D'Angelo Russell has such a great game.
Especially for the Nuggets, Jamal Murray missed 6 games late in the season, came back for the final week, so he's not 100%.
Nope.
And we know Jamal Murray has 50 point per game playoff ability. But with him not being 100%, I look at Michael Porter Jr. and go, all right, you were on the championship team last year. The Nuggets have paid you to be that player. And more times than not, he's actually going to have to be the second best player for the Denver Nuggets because the Nuggets are not sweeping the Lakers this summer.
No, if the stars come to play and the stars do what they are going to do, I'm talking about LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Nikola Jokic, and Jamal Murray. If those guys do what they're supposed to do, it's going to come down to the others. I like my chances. If I'm the Denver Nuggets, I like my chances. If I'm the Los Angeles Lakers, I like my chances. So it's going to come down to the others. The Lakers were 90%, from free throws.
They were clutch last night.
Yeah.
Stepping up, hitting the free throws. And this is an LA team. They've won 12 of their last 15 games. They've been in playoff mode for a while now.
Yeah.
And they've excelled at it. And for the Nuggets, it's going in with a good starting five, and then which young guy is going to step up. Because they're going to need Peyton Watson to have a game, Christian Brown to have a game. But really the biggest X factor for me is Michael Porter Jr. And this screams 6 or 7 games.
No, for sure.
Going in this year.
For sure.
Last year, the Nuggets, they were on a roll. And they made a statement because the whole world was having the same exact conversation. Watch out now. It's LeBron James, Anthony Davis. And Denver said no.
I mean, you're gonna see the Lakers been playing lights out because they've been trying to avoid the 10 spot, the 9 spot. They've been and got themselves into the playoffs now. They've been playing excellent down the stretch. The Nuggets have had something to play for, trying to get the number 1 seed. They had a slip up against San Antonio, just a total mental collapse.
And that was the difference between Denver being the number one seed in Oklahoma City, because both teams finished with 57 wins. That Oklahoma City had a better Western Conference. Right?
I give the edge, at least early on in the series, to the Los Angeles Lakers just because they played in the play-in. So it's going to be a more recent. There's not going to be a lot of rust to knock off when they start playing next week. But it's going to be a very good series. It's going to go 6 or 7 games, like you just said. I don't think anybody should expect blowouts or double-digit wins like it was all last season in the playoffs. So it's going to be a great show, and may the best man win, JJ.
This is when I get nervous, man. I do fan out.
Yeah.
On my Nuggets and Avalanche. Like, those are the games that I get into.
Yeah.
And I have that, that nervous feeling watching it. Because when you do this for a certain amount of time, on the radio, you're trying to have a take and stories on everything. Mm-hmm. And you can, like, for me, I used, like, especially with, like, the Broncos, I used to just be crazy on Sundays. I've grown out of that. But there are the Nuggets and Avalanche, man, it pulls me back in. I have those fan nights where I'm like, I have to stay off Twitter because I'm going to do a stupid take. It's going to be one of those freezing cold takes. I'm just like, nope, just watch the game and see how it goes.
That's all you can ask for too. But as a fan, as somebody who loves sports, who's played sports, this is what we do. You know what I'm saying? We get excited. We're passionate about the games, and it's hard to hold that back at times.
It will be fun. So that's the 2-7 matchup in the Western Conference. Nuggets and the Lakers. Game 1 of that is Saturday night, 6:30, ABC. The other matchups we know for sure: Timberwolves and Suns at 3-6, Clippers and Mavericks 4-5. That's going to be a heck of a series.
A doozy. That one right there.
All these, man. And Anthony Edwards versus KD and Booker. Let's go. And we are waiting to find out if it will be the Kings or the Pelicans that will play the number 1 seed Thunder, as the Kings and Pels will play the final winner go home game in the Western Conference on Friday night. Tonight, though, we have a doozy of a play-in. It's Philadelphia and Miami, 7-8. Winner is the 7th seed. Loser will play the winner of Bulls and Hawks. We're going to talk Eastern Conference basketball when we come back on the other side, because 2 of the 4 teams in the play-in have Eastern Conference championship potential. But who do you believe? It's coming up next here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Taco Bell is introducing the new Cantina Chicken menu with an
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety.
Indy Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indy Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is.
Speaking of the what if team, right now the captain is Zion Williams. 40 points, but not available for the final 3 minutes. You know who his co-captain is? Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid. Can you get to the Eastern Conference Finals, my guy? But NBA Finals. We appreciate you playing for Team USA, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
Joel Embiid. Like, wait a second. What? Yep, Joel Embiid.
Thank you so much.
Playing for Team USA. When it comes to the Philadelphia 76ers, path is there for them to finally get to a conference finals. They got to play the Miami Heat tonight. And we know with Miami, what are you going to get? Playoff Jimmy.
Yep.
It's a thing. Yep. That is going to be an awesome playing game. Philadelphia, Miami, the first matchup on deck. Philadelphia, 5.5-point favorites tonight. They're hosting Miami. Winner moves on with the 2 seed, the New York Knicks, while the loser will play the winner of the Chicago Bulls and Atlanta Hawks for the number 8 seed. And the 8 seed in the Eastern Conference will play the Boston Celtics. It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animals with ProView Networks. Appreciate Adrian, all the work that he's doing. JJ Buck, Cy Riley with you this morning. And Jerry Wright trying to poke at us with his Laker fandom.
Yeah, somebody's got to do it.
Poking the bear over there. 505-246-0610, the Sports Animal hotline and text line this morning. So Miami is the 8th seed, and their 46 wins are the second most they've had in a season since 2015 and 16. Now, we look at the play-in teams with Chicago and Atlanta, and they're under 500, and that's kind of what you're going to get more times than not. But the top 8 in the Eastern Conference was good. And it's getting overshadowed by the Western Conference because 1 through 10 we went, wow. But 1 through 8
Yeah.
is solid in the East. When you got a team like Miami who just was in the NBA Finals last year, playoff Jimmy's a thing. Won 46 games, and they've been pretty good since the All-Star break. They're 16-11 plus 133-point differential, but they've also had tough losses to Philadelphia and Indiana down the stretch, which pushed them into the play-in scenario, dropped them out of the top 6. The challenge for Miami is they made some moves to get better offensively. They were just 21st in offensive rating this season, which is only ahead of Orlando in terms of postseason teams. The Magic is a team that we got to give the Magic some love at some point because they had a fantastic season, unexpected to be the 5th seed, but not high expectations for the Orlando Magic right now. But we know everything is going to run through Jimmy Butler. But what the Heat did try to do at the trade deadline is they acquired Terry Rozier. And he is a bucket getter, someone that can come off the bench, get you quick points. However, Scary Terry, he's not playing tonight. He is out. He's been out since April 7th with a neck injury. So Terry Rozier is not playing for the Heat. And you look at Joel Embiid. He missed 8 weeks with that knee injury. But since he's been back in the lineup, Embiid is averaging 30 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists. We don't need to describe how good Joel Embiid is. We know. But this is the time where you got to do it. You can't be the captain or co-captain of the all what-if team.
Yeah.
Philadelphia should handle their business tonight against Miami, and they're going to have a great shot against the New York Knicks because Jalen Brunson, phenomenal. I like the backcourt rotation, but no one can play with Joel Embiid.
Yeah. Joel Embiid, he's got 5 days of rest. He did not play on Sunday. They decided to rest him. They said that they could win without him, and they bet on it, and they were successful in that bet. So he hasn't played since Friday. So he's got, more days of rest than anybody else. He's got to dominate. And when he's out there on the floor, he's got to give Bam the work. Like he's going to give him when they're, at USA Basketball together. He's got to give him the work early. And then playoff Jimmy, Tobias Harris, I got to see that matchup. And Jimmy's going to carry the chip on him because they're like, you picked Tobias Harris over me. You kept him over me. And Jimmy Buckets is just, he's going to do what he normally does. He's going to have grit. He's going to play hard. We all know that. With no Terry, I think the Miami Heat wish they had Kyle Lowry now. With if Terry Rozier's not going to be there, playing point guard. So it's going to be a tough game. Joel Embiid, expect him to dominate early. You're probably going to see him play somewhere around 40 minutes if needed. But if they get out early, allow him to rest in the back end of the game. But if playoff Jimmy is doing what playoff Jimmy does, it's going to be a long game.
There's a reason that is real. Because 2 years ago, it's kind of when it started to pick up. Because it was that first matchup with Jimmy Butler and Miami Heat playing Philadelphia. And Jimmy Butler averaged 27.5 points that series, knocking Philadelphia out of the playoffs. And then you started to see that moniker rise of just getting unbelievable playoff performances from Jimmy Butler. And this Heat team, it's more of the same. You know them. It's Jimmy Butler, it's Bam Adebayo, it's Tyler Hero. And then you're going to see some new names in the rotation, like Nikola Jovic is going to be out there. Mm-hmm. The rookie from UCLA, Jaime Jaquez Jr. is going to have to be a difference maker for them. So Spoelstra, Butler, Miami's going to be a problem. But this is the time. And that's why Philadelphia made the change at the top, too.
Yeah.
Is bringing a new voice in Nick Nurse, who won a title with Toronto, to put themselves in a bit of different position. And they moved off James Harden, and that allowed Tyrese Maxey to blossom in the backcourt. And Philadelphia has all the pieces, but this is on Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
And, you're not 100%. But when you come back from the injury and you're dropping 39 and 5, you need to beat the Heat.
Yeah. Yeah.
To lock yourself into the 2 seed. And then I like Philadelphia over the Knicks because of Joel Embiid.
if Joel can, and it's gonna be hard as the series wanes. If they can get up a lead, if they can get up, 3-1, or even a 2-2 heading to wherever they're going, back to New York, win a game 5. If they can find a way to get out series early and put away teams early and allow for better and more rest for Joel Embiid, that is going to be the game plan. That should be the game plan for them moving forward, because again, coming off a meniscus, injury where he has surgery. I had meniscus surgery. Those things are gruesome. The first 6 weeks, you're getting your strength back. You're trying to get Ben mobility back. But Joel Embiid's playing professional basketball. He's 7 feet, probably around 280 pounds. Like, that's a lot of body weight to manage. So if Joel Embiid and the 76ers can get out early, if Tyrese Maxey can be as dominant as he's been all season long, it'll be good for them.
So Joel Embiid, all eyes are on you. It's same thing we're talking about with Zion Williamson. Go out there and prove yourself. Well, Zion did. However, he couldn't finish the game, and the Lakers move on, and we'll see playoff Jimmy versus Joel Embiid. The other game, Bulls-Hawks. So you told me, I'm going to turn off my TV after Philadelphia and Miami. That's going to be a tough one to stick around for. But, hey, DeMar DeRozan, Trae Young. Let's see if we can get something. It's
go DeMar.
Miami. If Philadelphia and Miami are both not in the playoffs, something bad.
Yeah.
Something very bad happened, because Chicago and Atlanta just don't have it.
Nope.
They don't have it to beat one of those teams in a winner-go-home game. Because the loser of Philadelphia and Miami will play the winner of Chicago and Atlanta. 505-246-0610, Sports Animal Hotline and text line this morning. We'll come back on the other side with the Rashee Rice situation this offseason. He's going to miss some games. So what does that mean for the Kansas City Chiefs? Are they going to give this wide receiver one more chance? We'll talk about that next here on the Sports Animal.
We're all moving a little faster now.
Trust the team.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Evergard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop.
You know, I love to stay in the line. I live my life a quarter mile at a time. Fantastic movie franchise. Fast and Furious. So many life lessons. 1 through 10. Absolutely love it. But it's just the saying. You don't actually want to do it. She Rice. They're racing his Lambo. Buddy from SMU cornerback in a Corvette. They crashed. And we've discussed this story and all the issues. The fallout from that. And Rasheed Rice, the legal penalties that are coming. Well, it's also the suspension that's coming from the NFL. And Rice was blossoming in that Kansas City offense. Just won a Super Bowl with the Kansas City Chiefs. Well, he's probably going to miss some time early in the season. So what does that mean for Patrick Mahomes and a KC offense that we're struggling to find playmakers last season? That throughout the regular season, now it wasn't a Travis Kelce regular season. It was a Travis Kelce postseason. And that's the way it is now. Travis Kelce's at the back end. He's going to be kind of taking a step back, waiting for his playoff performance. And Rashee Rice was one of those guys that you looked at and said, all right, that's a blossoming player. That's someone that can make an impact. But he's going to miss some time. So what is Kansas City going to do? Do they have anyone at wide receiver that they can trust? The opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. JJ Buck, Cy Riley with us this week, former Lobo linebacker. And Kansas City, the spot they're in is they have to really turn to Kadarius Toney again. I get it. KT 2 years ago, special teams performance made an impact, but last year was rough for Kadarius Toney, dropping passes. And the last time you saw Kadarius Toney on the field was in Week 15 when KC beat the Patriots. And in that game, he had a drop that became an interception. And then there was a back and forth where Kansas City was holding Toney out, and then Toney accused the team of claiming he was injured, but he really wasn't. Well, guess what? KT is still in the fold. Head coach Andy Reid talked about Toney's status saying, quote, Kadarius is arguably one of the most talented guys we have on the team. It's just a matter of being healthy and being able to stay on the field. I think you could say that about a lot of athletes. He's talented, but what's missing? Former first-round pick for the New York Giants. They moved on him quick to send him to Kansas City. So I think the biggest signing in the of free agency could be Kansas City acquiring Hollywood Brown.
Yeah.
Because I can't sit here and listen to Andy Reid say, well, KT, he's going to be in the rotation. Rashee Rice, he's going to miss some time. He's going to be suspended by the NFL. So for Patrick Mahomes, you're looking at Hollywood Brown going, we are going to become best friends.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a great thing for Hollywood Brown's career. I think any wide receiver that has the chance to play with Patrick Mahomes will only do wonders for your career. I mean, look at Juju Smith-Schuster, left Pittsburgh, came to the Kansas City Chiefs, played well in the Super Bowl, earned a nice contract with the Patriots. It's going to be good for Hollywood Brown's career. He started with Baltimore, didn't really pan out with Lamar Jackson. Then he went to Arizona, played with a quarterback that he played in college with in Kyler Murray. Didn't pan out how you expected it would. Now he's with Patrick Mahomes, somebody who gives you a vertical stretch down the field. He can run those quick slants, those things that we saw Tyreek Hill do, and take him, 60 yards. Is he the same type of caliber player that Tyreek Hill is? No. But will he be a nice blanket for Patrick Mahomes? Yes.
Yeah, they have some of that over-the-top explosiveness that was few and far between. Valdez-Scantling hit some of those late in the season, but, really his game log, you'd look and be like 2 for 6.
Yep.
But, Hollywood Brown is a player that they can rely on. And it shows you, yes, how good Patrick Mahomes is, but how solid that organization is. Mm-hmm. Because you're able to go through that time. We saw a different Kansas City team last year. They didn't know who they were for a while in the season. And then they realized, all right, they're going to be more of an offense that dinks and dunks their way down the field. They're going to lean on their defense. And if you're looking, Patrick Mahomes, Hollywood Brown, that connection is going to be there. And they have the 32nd pick in the first round. And they've absolutely crushed the draft with late first round picks recently. Because another thing in this, we're looking at, Kadarius Toney, Rashee Rice, which, and you're driving a Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, I don't understand why football players keep doing this over and over again, especially professional football players. Rashee Rice, Henry Ruggs. It makes no sense to be driving that fast to put your life on the line, but also put the things that you've earned on the football field on the line. Generational wealth, putting other people in danger. Jalen Carter, as a guy who, who's a college football player, I would love, just like anybody would, I would love to have, millions in my bank account. But to me, why, if I did, why would I go excessively past anything that's just a normal standard? Like, I can understand, you know, okay, you get caught 55 and a 40. Like, that makes sense. People do that sometimes. 110 miles per hour, 120 miles per hour, 90 on the street. Like, what are we actually doing? Because it makes no sense. It's not only damaging your career, but it's also putting other people in danger. It's putting a bad limelight on athletes, college athletes. You know, people think that we don't know right from wrong. Like, we're just reckless people, reckless beings, and that's not the case. Like, there are a lot of smart football players, and it really makes me upset because there's no sense for it. It makes no sense. That's the wrong choice. Stop making that choice. And yeah. So Rasheed, shame on you.
I can see the frustration, man, because you're just sitting there thinking about the opportunity that you just had, you know, playing Division I college football, let alone be one of these guys that has the opportunity at the NFL level.
Yeah.
And to put yourself in that position.
He could have blown it all away. And not only that, generational wealth, like I was talking about. If you're going to, you know, have a family, that's money that could help stabilize them and for hundreds of years. Like, it really could. Like, if he, and here's the thing about it. The Chiefs don't win that Super Bowl without Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce. They don't. So you already know your worth is going up. Your play on the field is only going up. You're playing with the best quarterback, some people think, ever. And so you're going to put that all on the line just to drive fast, just to look cool. Like, stop. It's just ridiculous.
And these are the things that Kansas City can get through because they have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, but there are things that get to a point they're not going to put up with.
No.
Like, the Kadarius Toney thing, to me, like, that's not a thing. Like, I can't trust Kadarius Toney on the football field anymore, but they're kind of forced to keep him around because, well, he's under contract. They're looking for playmakers. Rashee Rice is probably going to miss time, so it's going to give him an opportunity. We'll see if Kadarius Toney can bounce back, but that was a huge one because, you know, Rashee is, as you said, he's a playmaker. He's a difference maker on that team, made plays in the postseason, and he's going to miss time next year.
You said the best ability is availability. Where you at? Because you decided to drive fast.
505-246-0610, Sports Animal Hotline and text line this morning. Coming up at 9:40, we're heading down to El Paso. Josh Shushan going to join us, voice of the Isotopes. They're playing some day baseball down there in El Paso. We're going to talk about some of the big storylines around Major League Baseball. You know, that the Shohei Ohtani stuff has calmed down in Major League Baseball. Very excited that they believe they can quickly just clear Shohei of anything and move on from that situation. The big talk is the grip of a baseball, and is that affecting the way pitchers are throwing? We'll talk with Josh about what he's hearing and what some of the Topes pitchers are saying this season about, you know, is there a difference between Major League Baseball and minor league baseball when it comes to the baseballs? Because we've heard that before, and how the Topes get back on track. They're just 2-11 this season. But coming up on the other side, it is the end of an era. And sometimes you have to make the tough decision, and that time is now for the Golden State Warriors. It is the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Save big during spring.
Stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at Fiesta.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Light skin shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe.
Time for a new beginning. For Steph Curry, the time is to think about what you would look like in a different jersey. As the Warriors, what they were able to do to win the NBA Finals in the 2021-22 season, it was crazy. It was unprecedented. Coming back from being a 15-win team in 2019-2020. Then we had the bubble season. And Klay Thompson back off major injuries. The Splash Brothers, the trio, Steph, Draymond, Klay, they got it done. It's not happening again. This is a team that, yeah, they made it to the second round of the playoffs last year. But they falter this season. Klay Thompson 0 for 10 from the floor, 0 points in a winner-go-home game at Sacramento. Draymond Green was fine, but the biggest question with Draymond is they're not good enough to be at the mercy of Draymond Green's attitude in regular season. Like, this is a team that can overcome a play-in and then go on a run. Like, Steph Curry is still that guy, and he'll turn 37 years old next March. To me, he is still a difference maker. The rest of those guys, it's time to move on. The question if you're Golden State is, can you do enough to revamp around Steph Curry? Or does Steph have to start looking outside? And is Steph going to be one of those players that, yeah, his legend will always be in Golden State? But who could he team up with? What could he do? Because what the Sacramento Kings did last night was end an era. I don't see Golden State coming back from this and being a legitimate contender. 118-94, the Kings run the Warriors out of the building in Sacramento. And the Kings got great performances from Keon Ellis, a rookie, 15 points. Keegan Murray goes for 32 points and 8 made threes. And you're sitting there looking around going, yeah, Chris Paul playing 18 minutes off the bench, scoring 3 points with 2 assists. Andrew Wiggins, who, you know, he was a big reason why they won that championship. He had an unbelievable season. But he's kind of regressed because the rest of the Warriors are not good enough to overcome their deficiencies like they've been. The one player I trust is Steph Curry. Outside of that, the era's over. And it's an easy thing to say after the fact, but now I truly believe it. Because Klay Thompson is not a starter on a conference contending team. I think Draymond Green, you look at his performance, and it's fine, but everything they've gone through, the championships they won, if you're Steph Curry and you're going to be 37 years old next year, and you are in the final stretch run of your career, can you really just keep putting everything on Draymond Green? You can't. And so the question is it better for Steph to acknowledge that they need to retool things around him in Golden State, or to step outside the box and think about going somewhere else? It's Opening Drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. JJ Buck, Cy Riley. So when you think about the future of the Golden State Warriors and Steph Curry, what direction are you going?
I'm keeping Steph Curry. Here's how you know it's bad. When you're getting splashes of the Splash Brothers. You know, it's not the same that it was. Expected consistent play. It's not there. So from the Golden State Warriors, here's what I'm doing. I'm looking at the free agents this summer. I'm looking at Tyrese Maxey, who's averaging 25 points per game. I'm looking at Paul George, who everybody knows what Paul George can do. He's been excellent from the three-point range this season. Pascal Siakam, he was traded to Indiana this year. 22 points per game, 6 rebounds, 5 assists on 53% field goal percentage. DeMar DeRozan, somebody a little bit older, but some scoring you can rely on, and his defense. Then if you want to go younger, Miles Bridges, Buddy Hield. They need to go get a couple of these guys in free agency and help out Steph Curry and sadly walk away from Klay Thompson.
Can the Warriors muster up enough? Can they do it in Golden State? Or does Steph Curry have to step outside the box and take his talent elsewhere? Last night, they looked old. They looked slow compared to the Sacramento Kings. It's Opening Drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interests being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Light skin shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Years running. It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bach.
So one icon got it done last night. The other fizzled out. LeBron James and the Lakers move on. Face the Denver Nuggets in the first round, the 2-7 matchup. The Kings blitz the Warriors, so Sacramento and New Orleans face off in the 9-10 matchup. Be the 8th seed. That game will be Friday night. And we have the Eastern Conference playing tonight. Is it time for Joel Embiid to rise? Absolutely. But what a game that's going to be. Philadelphia versus playoff Jimmy and the Miami Heat. And the nightcap will be the Chicago Bulls and Atlanta Hawks. Welcome in to the opening drive. What did you do, everyone? JJ Buck, Cy Riley with you, former Lobo linebacker. In this broadcasting thing, a try has been fantastic this week. Jay Rett behind the glass producing for you. 505-246-0610 Sports Animal Hotline and text line. We're just discussing the Golden State Warriors, and it is the end of an era. They're not going to be able to run it back with Steph, Clay, and Draymond, NBA Conference contender in the Western Conference. They're not. In this group, they'll say, "Hey, we did it once before." And they did. And they came back and won an NBA championship in 21-22. Very unlikely NBA championship. The time is now, and they have to adjust. Chris Paul, that one never really made a lot of sense. And he didn't make a huge impact this season. They're gonna have, but the main players under contract, Draymond, Steph, and Chris Paul, are under contract next season. Klay Thompson is a free agent. Now, Steve Kerr, after game, said last night that he still believes Klay Thompson has good basketball left in him, and they want him to stick around. Draymond says, he wants to retain this group, and that's understandable. They've been together a long time and won a lot of basketball games. But this group is not going to be a conference finals team. This group is not going to be a team that could play in the NBA finals anymore. And so how do you make that change? You let Klay Thompson walk. You get out from Chris Paul's contract, because the one thing we've all learned watching enough NBA basketball, when you think a contract is, it's impossible to move that. No, you can't. Because how many times as we've seen, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, you name it, move around, and you just think that it's an unmovable contract. Chris Paul has been that guy at times. And so the question for me, it's, can the Warriors be good enough to retool around, say, Steph Curry and Draymond Green? Or should this be a time that Steph starts thinking outside the box? And, Steph Curry is always going to be a Golden State Warrior.
Yeah.
Champion is legend. But I don't know if you take a step back, all right, you got Steve Kerr. Can you trust Draymond Green? Because this team, they're not good enough to overcome all the other stuff. They're not good enough anymore for Draymond Green to get suspended 10 or 15 games in the season, and for them to still be a top 6 team, a playoff team. And so those are the questions that are going through your mind. Andrew Wiggins took a big step back this year. There's some young pieces you like, which you thought, hey, these could fill some holes, whether it's Kuminga. Podzinski, the rookie this year, was really good. And you thought, all right, this is how you retool. This is how you keep that window open. But to me, it's time for a change.
Yeah.
And I know you've said it, Sai, is you could not move off Steph Curry.
No.
And I understand that. If I'm the Golden State Warriors, Steph's going to have to tell me he's there.
Yep.
Steph's going to have to tell me, hey, I'm open. Possibilities to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
If you guys want to retool. Because running it back with this group, you're going to get the same result.
What are you running it back for? That would just be a bad decision. I mean, you look at Draymond, 4 ejections this year, large suspension, many games. Probably is the reason why they're in the 10th seed, for being honest. Andrew Wiggins did not have a great year. He was kind of up and down. There were times that he was the 2022 Andrew Wiggins that we all saw throughout the playoffs. And there was the time that he was the Timberwolves Andrew Wiggins.
Yep.
Just going through the motions. I think their path forward is getting length and size. They have a team option on Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody. Chris Paul is $30.8 million, straight to their salary cap. You can't have that if I'm a GM, if I'm a Mike Dunleavy. It's not possible. So when I'm looking again at the possible free agents, the only question mark that I see is Paul George, because he's as a player option for the Clippers, and I expect him to re-sign with the Clippers, because why throw that away? But Pascal Siakam, he's a free agent. He has no ties to the Pacers. They're playing the Milwaukee Bucks, this coming playoffs with no Giannis. So there's a possibility that they do advance, but that's about the extent that they'll go. DeMar DeRozan, his time's been wasted in Chicago, quite frankly. Miles Bridges, he had the off-the-court issues. A lot of that weighed on him and, his family, and it's just a bad thing. But he was able to come back this year. In the short time that he's played really, really good. Buddy Hield, another guy that you're looking at. He hasn't been too great, but they still need the 3-and-D.
Yeah, Hield is a perfect role player.
Yeah.
And so if you're looking at Buddy Hield, he's going to be like 3 or probably 4.
Yeah.
If you're a really good team. And the names that you mentioned, I think Paul George, was fascinating because if the Clippers lose in the first round, I think Steve Ballmer going into the new arena, he's going to want to keep his stars.
Yeah.
He's going to do everything he can to try to pay Kawhi Leonard and Paul George and James Harden so the Clippers can have that pop as they go into their brand new arena.
Into it dome.
But I think Steph Curry, if all of a sudden the Golden State Warriors are open for business, you're going to find a lot of stars. I'll go play with Steph.
LeBron said the one player he wanted to play with is Steph Curry. Now, there was a possibility of that happening.
Yep. So we can add LeBron James to that list. But would LeBron leave LA?
I don't think so.
And go play for Golden State? Or would he say, hey, Steph, you got to come here?
I think it would be more him telling Steph. But that's a lot harder because they just restructured Steph's deal.
Yeah. So that one's a lot harder. If I'm the Golden State Warriors, I love the names that you brought up because I think a lot of people want to play with Steph, would play with Steph. Kevin Durant did. I think Kevin Durant's a star ball dominant player, and they ran the league.
Yep.
Now, was it KD wanting to prove that he can do it by himself, or was it KD being worn down by Draymond Green? We'll have those conversations forever until they really sit down and one of them opens up about it. But like Steph can function with another star, and we know that myth has been debunked.
Yeah.
It started with the Heatles when they're like, you put LeBron James and Dwayne Wade together, and they're like, well, there's only one basketball.
Yeah,
they won championships.
Yep.
Star players knows what it takes. Heck, look at how Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic are working out this year. And we were all done with Kyrie Irving.
Exactly. Took them an off season to figure out off season to figure it out.
So the whole stars with stars, we know that's a thing, and it's kind of become a duo thing in the NBA. But Paul George, Pascal Siakam around Steph Curry. Okay,
I'm circling Pascal Siakam,
because all of a sudden you're thinking like, all right, that's something that says, all right, this team could win a playoff series.
Yeah.
And if you win 2, where does that get you? It gets you in the Western Conference Finals. But these are the questions that Golden State has to think. Golden State can't be sitting here thinking about how do we run it back with Steph, Clay, and Draymond. Because to me, Klay Thompson, it's one of those things where like Clay coming back, it would work. But I want Clay off the bench. And can Steve Kerr consistently do that? Can Steve Kerr get to a point where it's like, hey, we've won championships together, but now you're coming off the bench the entire time? Like, can he be a Manu Ginobili?
Yeah. And is he okay with that?
And is he going to be okay with that?
Yeah.
Because I would love Klay Thompson in a reserve role. And we know that being a starter is special. Mm-hmm. But it's also, are you finishing the game? Mm-hmm. You know, are you playing in crunch time? So you can come off the bench, but if you're playing in crunch time, you're good. And you know that was the Spurs mentality with Manu Ginobili. I don't know if there's enough the Warriors have to work with where they can rework it around Steph Curry. Yeah. So I think if Steph is going to make another push, another championship run, he's not going to be wearing a Golden State jersey.
That's a tough pill to swallow.
But then you look at, all right, say who can do that? Because if you were trading for a player like Steph Curry, this is the challenge, right? It's like you have to give up so much.
Yeah.
But it's Milwaukee figured it out.
Yeah.
And they did, and I know there's a lot of questions with Milwaukee, but they're still the 3 seed in the Eastern Conference. They acquired Damian Lillard. They had to give up Drew Holiday for it. Mm-hmm. Player they won a championship with, but they maintained their core. So that's your challenge. You're looking at other places like where would Steph Curry fit? Obviously everywhere. Mm-hmm. But this is one where would he be open to going?
Yeah.
Because I don't think Steph is going to come out there and say, I'm done. I want to be traded. Like Steph is going to ride this out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it would be interesting to see, would he be open to listening? Because that's the only way Golden State does anything. Yeah. If I'm with you, Si. If Golden State, I'm not outwardly trading Steph, but it would have to be like, hey, I understand where we're at as a franchise. I'm open to conversations. What are we doing?
Yeah. They need another shot creator because you look,
they don't have that number 2 shot creator. You're right.
Last night, if Steph was denied the ball, you got a post-up turnaround jumper that is the back of the rim. Or Kuminga pulling up from 3, hitting in the front of the rim. Draymond Green. Even though we wanted him to be aggressive at times, shooting the ball, you can't be airballing. You know, Brandon Podziemski should be first team all-rookie of the NBA. But again, it's not that consistent shot creator. Everybody is looking at a Jonathan Kuminga, though, coming up, and his progression this year was really improved and really eye-opening. And the way that he can move with the ball, high-flying, put pressure on the rim. He has the mid-range. He has a nice shot. If I'm the Warriors, I need a second shot creator that they haven't had since Kevin Durant.
Nope.
I need a 3-and-D guy like Buddy Hield that I haven't had since a Harrison Barnes, Andre Iguodala. I haven't had that. So in order to get back to the Warriors of old, they need to become a little bit more instrumental in the free agency.
Can you get younger and do you have the pieces to do it? But Golden State, they can't run it back and expect to be any better. It's time. An era was ended by the Sacramento Kings. Hats off to the Kings, the way they played. I know Kenny Thomas is going to be excited about that. We'll talk with Kenny Thomas coming up Friday, 9 a.m., kicking it with KT. We'll know the majority of the playoff matchups at that point in time. It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Travis Kelce's girlfriend.
Travis Kelce from Patrick Mahomes.
The world.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Light skin shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the best.
just got done playing football. 4 years at the University of New Mexico, and he's transitioning now. Like, maybe I can be pretty good at this broadcasting. He's coming to take my job. It's okay. It's okay. At some point in time, you know what's going to happen.
To do it with you.
Appreciate that. But the Louisville football spring game is on Saturday. They're out there practicing. Louisville football will open to the public for the first time in spring camp out there, 1 o'clock at University Stadium. You know, when you're going through spring practice, the opening drive, J.J. Buck, Cy Riley, kind of what's it like? And I guess it's different depending on what year you're in.
Yeah.
But you get to that point and kind of the spring game. Is this something you look forward to?
Yeah, it's well, when I was a freshman, my family coming out for a spring game, that meant a lot to me because, again, during the COVID season, yes, I was playing, but I wasn't getting as many reps. I think I had a total of 80 snaps during my freshman year, which is still a lot for a guy coming straight out of high school or a true freshman. But that spring game was a little bit of my time to showcase what I had to offer to the program, to the coaches, my playing ability, the camaraderie of it all. There's truly nothing like it. As I got older, my senior year, last year I kind of missed a little bit of spring ball. I think I missed four practices because I had class obligations. You know, NCAA, you got to go to class. You can't miss.
Still got to stay eligible.
Yeah. So it was a little bit different, but it was always fun. It was always fun, and watching the other guys that you play with that doesn't normally get the same reps during, you know, practice in a season or in the game, them progress and their play become extremely important, and it just becomes like a microsphere of just everything being harped on, every little thing. They want all the details done right. They want you to run to the ball. They want you to, you know, make sure you're reading the right gaps, making the right fits, tackling well, stripping the football, interceptions, like everything gets focused on.
Especially this year, it's a brand new staff.
Yeah.
So you have whole new offensive and defensive philosophies. Like, what is that like? Because it's one thing, you know, maybe if you change coordinators, you know, within a system, you have a head coach. But man, I guess starting from zero, like that's what makes a spring practice like this for New Mexico even more important. Because so when you come back in the fall, you can hopefully pick up where you left off.
So the thing with new coaches is that you can either do everything they ask for, you can do everything in your power to make sure that you are in good standing with them, or you can kind of be lackadaisical with it in the process. Be like, oh, I'll get this eventually with time. Those coaches aren't going to give you the time. They're not going to give you that time that it takes for you to go at your own pace. You need to be at their pace because, number one, there's a lot of turnover with the team. Number two, a lot of expectations from the community. And then number three, they want to win. They were brought in to do a job. They were brought in to win football games. They were brought in to win Mountain West championships and national championships. And for a school like the University of New Mexico, not a lot of people expect much from us. So that when you're a coach and you're being brought in, you have to change that narrative. You got to get that thought and mindset out of the players, out of their minds, and allow them on the football field to be the best that they can be, and bring in guys that will challenge them in their positions, in their rooms, in the locker rooms, in the weight rooms, so that they can also become better.
So this is a conversation that we were having over the last couple of weeks. And I think it's something that we'll expand on more tomorrow when we have time, because it is a broader conversation. So Jeff Simbieta was asking, you know, do in this day and age, you look at, you know, the transfer portal and everything that goes on in college athletics, do the players care as much about the game as fans do at times? And I think a lot of that stems from when there's a loss, you know, the fans are going to lose their mind.
Yeah.
I look at those, you can't live like that as a player.
Yeah.
Because if you're that emotional as a player, you're not going to be locked in. But for you, that's been in that locker room, that's been on that field, and your college career was right as college athletics was changing.
Yeah,
with all this stuff, do you notice that? I guess where I'm is team chemistry, is buy-in. Do you think that's harder now?
It
with
is
the amount of player movement.
It is, because you have, especially bringing new coaches, you have the old regime and you have the new regime. So with the older guys, the guys that have been there, they're accustomed to certain things. And the new guys and the new coaches that come in, they're doing things completely different. So you're going to naturally clash as you get accustomed to each other. But that's how life is, like you're going to be put in new situations, new opportunities, and it's up to you to make the mental choice to decide whether or not you want to, grow up to the challenge, or if you want to fold to the pressure. But yeah, we as a team, as a football player, like, obviously losing sucks and it hurts. I mean, there were times last year after, we lose a game that we thought that we should have won. I wouldn't want to wear Lobo football gear, just because, people don't like a loser. People don't get drawn to a loser, and it feels kind of rough, because you're representing this university that you love so much, that you're, bleeding and sweating and grinding for, and you're falling short of the goal. It gets tough and it wears on you. But when you have new coaches come in, when you have new teammates come in, they bring in a new sense of relief, a new added mentality and perspective on their experiences and what they can do and how they can help you win football games. And then you just get that added motivation back. You get that, chip on your shoulder, like, okay, if they can do it, if they've been through the process, if things have worked out for them, so why can't it work out for me?
We're going to expand on that conversation tomorrow, because I do think it's a fascinating thing right now in college athletics, with all the turnover and transition and what it's like being on the inside versus being on the outside. But coming up next, we're going to tell you about an event that can help you save a life, as UNM, Cumulus Media, and Project Heart start partnering once again. We're going to talk with Dr. Barry Ramo. Coming up next, it's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Last year, you gave us...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burkia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnflow.gov/do-not-host.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet.
Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom.
Seriously? You expect me to drive while you aren't wearing seatbelts?
What's the worst that can happen?
Seriously? Buckle up. Okay. Thank you.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
The skills to save a life. You don't have to be a medical professional to have those skills. These are things that all of us can have because you never know the situation that arises. And this weekend, it's the second annual UNM Athletics and Project Heart Start CPR training event. We're sponsored by New Mexico Heart Association, Project Heart Start, and us here at Cumulus Radio. It takes place Saturday. This is April 20th. This time it's going to be at the Pit, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. It is free to the public, and you're going to learn some very important skills. This is an event that I participated in last year, and it's something that really all of us should do every single year. JJ Buck, joined by former Lobo linebacker Cy Riley, here on the opening drive on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal, and we are excited to be joined by Dr. Barry Ramo this morning. Doctor, good morning. How are you?
Oh, good morning to you. Thank you very much for having me. I wish I could listen to you more often, but I'm in here seeing patients. But I know about you, and people love your show. I'm glad that we're talking because we all know about Damar Hamlin. We know about the boy who died suddenly a few weeks ago at Rio Grande. There is no question. What you said is absolutely right. People never know when they're going to need to do CPR. But you know where most cardiac arrests occur, JJ?
It's at the home?
It's at the home. That's exactly right. 80%. So that means if you learn to do CPR, you're going to be doing it on somebody you know or a relative. And I think that's a very important stimulus for people to get out. But I'll tell you why I'm excited about this. UNM Athletics is a great group to work with. That you can't. Will Price, who's the assistant athletic director, is putting this all together, and it's going to be so much fun for people to come out. From 8 to 9, we're going to train the student athletes. We did that last year. We had all the football players. This year we're getting the spirit group. We're getting the women's soccer group, and there are other athletes that are coming. 9, we have a video that we use that I made at KOAT. We train them, and then they train everybody else, and the people loved it, and the kids loved it. They love seeing all the athletes.
And Dr. Barry Ramo with us. And you look at an event like this, and I think part of it, too, is if you have the skills that can help you be confident, because that's got to be an unbelievably scary situation, is when if you see a friend, a family member fall to the ground, and you just got to have that ability, like you can't wait, you just got to go. So having those skills could help you have the confidence in that moment.
Absolutely. And, JJ, we don't just treat I think one of the things we do is disseminate information, which is really important. So, for example, a lot of people are very reluctant to do CPR because, number one, is the UGG factor. They don't want to do mouth-to-mouth respiration. Well, that's not part of compression-only CPR. Compression-only CPR means exactly that. All you do is compress on the center of the chest, hard and fast about 100 to 120 times a minute to the beat of staying alive. That's the rate. You don't check for the pulse, you don't check for breathing, and you don't do rescue breathing. That means that there's very little reason to have an excuse to do this. The other thing is, a lot of people worry about whether or not they can be sued. And in 2017, I worked with the legislature, and not only can you not be sued when we're doing CPR, you cannot be sued if you use the automated external defibrillator. So there's very little reason not to do this. One of the things we're encouraging, JJ, because a lot of the kids really like to meet the athletes, is that you bring your children out there, because if you have an event and you collapse, you want your kids to know to call 911, even if they're too small to do CPR. But, you know, if the kid is 12 years old, very often they can do CPR. They can do the compressions.
Yeah, and that's important. You know, it's teaching your child, the young kids, of, all right, what do you do in an emergency? How can you help out the adult? And as you mentioned, high school athletes, what we just saw, unfortunately, with the student passing away, Rio Grande, they're just out there training on a weekend, and to have those skills. So it's this Saturday at the Pit, 9 to 12 p.m. The second annual Project Heart Start CPR training event.
Yeah,
with
the way
Athletics.
JJ, the way it works is it's 9, 10, and 11. So there are 3 separate sessions. They take about an hour, but it's worth people's time. The other thing they'll learn is how to use that AED, how to use the automated defibrillator, how to recognize the signs of a heart attack, because 50% of the time people who have heart attacks wait at least 4 hours, very often days, before they get to the hospital. So half the people who have heart attacks never make it to the hospital. And finally, we have these vests that show people how to take care of a choking victim. So they learn 4 ways to save a life. It really is an impetus for people to come out there. But I think that the pit part is really a big factor. I walked on the floor of the pit the other day through that tunnel, and it was really exciting. I mean, I'm not an athlete, but I just got a wonderful feeling, especially after the wonderful season the basketball team had.
It's a huge event, and we appreciate you and everything that you do with it, and we will continue to try to get people out there on Saturday morning. I know you're very busy. Go continue to do what you do, Doctor. Appreciate the time.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Dr. Barry Rama with us this morning. So that's the second annual UNM Athletics Project Heart Start CPR event. So it's this Saturday. So you can pre-register to get one of those times that Dr. Rama just mentioned. You can go to golobos.com, click on the story, and the link will take you to newsradioKKOB.com, where you can sign up and pre-register 9, 10, or 11 a.m. they have available. I did this last year, and this is one of those things that you don't think about it enough.
Yeah. No, it was definitely a lot of fun as an athlete. Number 1, we learned. Number 2, we got to help other people. And then number 3, we got to meet other people. So it was definitely fun. Great. They gave out free T-shirts and everything, free hand sanitizers, and I think a little towel or whatever. But it was super dope, super nice meeting all of Lobo Nation, and not even just Lobo Nation.
Sharing those skills, man.
Yeah, with the people in New Mexico. So it was a fun event.
Now, this is a big time event, and you just heard it there. We're talking CPR, defibrillators, and choking, because these are all things that you don't know when it's going to happen.
Yeah,
and you heard it there, because I've been listening. I've heard Dr. Barry Rama talk about it. 80% of the time it's going to happen at home, and it's going to be your significant other. It's going to be a family member, and you are their first chance at survival.
Yeah,
with CPR, and learning those skills is huge. I went through it last year. Sai, you did it. It's huge to have, because everyone can do it. CPR can help save a life. So really excited that Cumulus Media is sponsor again with UNM, New Mexico Heart Association, Project Heart Start. That's this Saturday at the Pit. Of course, free event, open to the public. Not that's it. Think that. Staying alive goes hand in hand. CPR, staying alive, give them up. When we come back on the other side, going down El Paso, Josh Campbell's back to finish minus baseball. A lot more. And that AM.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mir here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I give you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a #1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
12:05 first pitch right here on the Sports Animal. Cubs fell last night 12-4 to the Chihuahuas, but back at it today. It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. JJ Buck, Cy Riley with you. Join now by the voice of the Isotopes, Josh Shushan. Good morning, Josh. How you doing, man? Yeah, no, I have not made it down to El Paso for a game, but looking at when you turn on the game, you watch it, or your social media post, it looks like they've done a really good job down there, the ballpark and everything around it. Well, Josh, before we dive into the nitty gritty of the baseball talk, the Golden State Warriors, is this the end of that era? Yeah. Yeah, because to me, Steph is, he's not going to be one of those players that says, hey, I'm out. Like, he's going to sit there, he's going to go through it. But Golden State has to answer those tough questions now. And it's what you said. It's you tip your hat to Klay Thompson and move on. You got to get out of that contract from Chris Paul. But, I guess, Draymond Green, you see this team's not good enough to overcome those big misses that he has anymore. Do you think Steph would be open to going somewhere else, or do you think he sees it out? I'm right there with you.
Hey, Josh, this is Cy Riley. Staying in California, Mitchell Parker just made his debut against the Dodgers, a former New Mexico baseball player. What is it like for you as an announcer to see guys from New Mexico make it to the big leagues?
And of course, all those kids probably grew up going to the Albuquerque Isotopes games as well and watching what those minor league players are doing. It's Josh Shushan, voice of the Isotopes, joining us here on the opening drive. So they're trying to figure out what's going on in baseball. And we know pitching injuries, it's a thing. And, man, I still think back to the stat I read. It was like 4 or 5 years ago, and they say 50% of pitchers at some point in time are going to go on the IL. But we're seeing big names go down early and often. And there's a lot of talk about, well, is it the pitch clock? Is it them just throwing harder? Kenley Jansen was adamant that, the bad balls are a problem. What are you hearing in terms of baseballs and pitchers trying to grip baseball? Josh Shushan with us. The Isotopes looking for that spark. But a bright spot has been Jordan Beck. He did have his 34-game of on-base streak snap. That was going back to last year. But we're talking about a dude just 2 years ago, drafted out of Tennessee, playing high ball, now playing with the Isotopes, one step below the Rockies. What is his ceiling? How good can Jordan Beck be? Josh, I always love a day game because it means we get a chance to talk to you. And it's always a fantastic conversation. Have fun today. 12:05 first pitch, of course, right here on the Sports Animal. And we'll talk soon, man. Josh Shushan, voice of the Isotopes. I think what he said on the pitching injuries is true. Like, I think with any sport, if there's something going on, I think last year in the NFL was like Achilles. All of a sudden, you're like, is it the turf?
Yep.
what is it? You try to figure it out, but I don't know if you can put that genie back in the bottle when you got guys coming out there throwing 100, knowing that in the back of their mind they're like, well, this is the way I'm getting to the next level.
Yeah,
it's how you're going to figure that out.
It goes back to high school and little league development. Like, are you taking time, to develop the players' arms? Are you making sure that they're healthy? Are you making sure that they're getting the proper rest at an early age? Making sure that they're getting the treatment that they need to preserve their arms for these longer careers.
Or you're someone that just had Achilles surgery.
Yep.
Do you feel a difference as a football player playing on the synthetic turf versus grass?
I love grass. I think grass is the best playing surface. It's natural. It gives you more give. Yeah. So turf is nice. You can definitely tell between the different type of turf fields when you're out there playing. Some is more slick than others. Some are harder than others. But grass is just natural. And yeah, that's the best playing surface.
Yeah. And you're seeing that debate. And it's not going to go away. It's still going to be there in the NFL when we move forward.
Yeah.
And then it's the surfaces you got to invest in. Yeah, it gets cold late in the season. It's winter in a lot of these places. So how do you figure it out?
Yeah, as long as you upkeep the grass and, you're seeing these heating systems underneath the fields, like making sure that if you're playing in a cold weather environment that the grass isn't freezing so that you're not playing on what feels like rock. As long as you upkeep the grass, then I feel like that's the best playing surface for football or soccer.
Yep.
Or anything.
Grass, man. Good grass.
Good grass.
Good for everyone. I want to thank Josh Ushon for joining us. He'll take over here just in a couple hours. Topes and El Paso. So we'll get a little bit of the Jim Rome Show coming up next. Some 2 Men On following Isotopes Baseball Sci. Thanks, man.
Thanks, AJ.
Back tomorrow morning. Jerry, appreciate you waking up with us.
Oh, always.
Thank you so much. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Adrian on ProView. Appreciate it. Everybody, medical peace and love. Have yourself a great day.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burquia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver.